the 100K or more a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he could be 5'2", have terrible D, but he's a good communicator and makes 250. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Antonio Lee Miles, and welcome to the Empire Podcast. And yes, we have a great episode today. But before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get the subscribership up, trying to get the views up. So please help and subscribe to the channel. But before we get into anything else, we're just going to introduce who's going to be on the panel today. And we'll start with the lovely lady to my left. Tell us your name and where people can find you.
My name is Yaneli, and you can find me on Instagram, Esoteric Yaneli, and on TikTok, Enigmatic Nelly.
Hi, my name is Shavana. You can find me on Instagram, Shavana Monet, and on TikTok, Shavana Monet as well.
Everything's going to be in the link for them, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have an interesting topic today. And guess what the topic's going to be about? It's going to be about relationships.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good old relationships.
Yes. And everyone wants to talk about relationships. Everyone's always interested
all
about
have
relationships, right? We all have them. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to be talking about platonic friend relationships here. No. We're talking about romantic relationships, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So,
What's romance?
yeah. Well, what is romance? You know, I think it's a novel, a genre of novel, right? So, ladies, my first question for you guys is, what, and I know you're married right now, Nelly, and
I'm
everything,
married.
but hypothetically speaking, if you weren't, or even before, what do you ladies look for in a man? And we'll start with you, Nelly.
I think before I met my now husband, I was very attracted to like the bad boy type of dude. Because I myself used to like partying and going out and stuff. So I used to like guys that were out in the streets. Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
No, be honest. And has that changed now?
Definitely.
What do you look for? What do you look for now, for a committed relationship?
So after all that didn't go well, obviously, I actually started going for somebody that was a lot different than me and a lot more chill. So my husband now, he barely goes out. He doesn't drink. He doesn't party. He's a very creative person too, though. I like a person that's open-minded and that like those type of people that you can learn from, but they also listen to you at the same time. Just someone more chill, a lot more chill now. Okay.
And how about you, Shavana? What do you look for a man or in a man for a committed relationship?
Boy, no, I'm kidding. I'm honestly on that journey of finding that out for myself right now. I just feel as though dating for me has been like, I would say more of like a fantasy, possibly. Like I have these fantasy ideas of what these men are supposed to be and how I want them to be.
So what's the fantasy?
Like charming, like Prince Charming, want to wait on your hand and foot for you. And that's not realistic.
It's not realistic at
all. And then when you get the men trying to play that role, they're not playing who they really should be. So then when you get into that relationship, you're disappointed, they're disappointed. I feel like it turns into toxicity in my case. So I'm just like, have to start writing that list down. I've been hearing it a lot. Like maybe, I don't know if that's probably something you probably didn't do, but I've been told to write a list down of like my ideal, like realistically what I would prefer from a man, I guess.
So have you written anything?
I wrote one thing down.
Okay, what did you write? What did you write?
Somebody that's patient, especially like when teaching me something new. Be patient, because I feel like patience with me is needed. Got
you. A man that can know how to be patient with them. I think, and I'm pretty sure every man here who's ever been in a relationship knows that. Got to be patient with these women out here, Honestly, you women actually test our patience. I don't know if you guys even realize that, but I think it's I actually heard Farrakhan say this recently on the Breakfast Club. And he says, men, your women are going to test you. And it's not because they hate you or anything like that. They're doing it because they want to make sure that you can protect them, that you can provide what you say, that you can take care of the kids that you're going to bring into the world, that they're going to test you to make sure that you can stand up and be a man that they need. They need you to be. So they're going to test you.
Yeah.
So that's where the patience of a man, we need to have patience with you ladies. You know what I mean? So, okay, that's what you guys' traits are. Okay. What you guys look for in a man. I was actually curious, Nelly. So you said it didn't work out with some of those bad boys, right?
I wonder why.
Why didn't it work out, would you say?
Okay, so I was, prior to getting married, I was in a 7-year relationship on and off. Very, very toxic. And it's something I probably should go to therapy for, to figure out why I stuck around for so long. I don't know if it was like a need of attention. I don't know if it was something that happened in my childhood, like maybe I saw my parents' relationship and I thought that was love, or I'm not too sure. Maybe it's a little bit of all of that. But yeah, it's like what you said, the whole wanting to feel protected in that relationship. I did not feel that. I did not feel safe. I did not feel heard. I did not feel protected. So I was constantly in a survival mode. Just what's going to happen next? What is he going to do next? What am I going to catch him doing next? And my biggest mistake in that relationship was being revengeful and sticking around so long.
Okay.
There was plenty of red flags right away in the beginning, within the first year. And I was young. I think I was about to turn 20. So I was very young. And that was like my first real relationship. So I had no idea what to expect. But there was definitely, looking back at it now, 10 years later, there was so many red flags right away. And I chose to ignore them.
Interesting. Okay, so another question I got for you ladies, right? Let's, I was going to do 2 of them. But, yeah, okay. So, let's say you guys are out looking for men, right? Or a man. And you find one, right? That has these things, but you can only pick 4 qualities. I mean, you can only pick 2 out of these 4 qualities I'm going to give you guys, okay?
Okay.
So, the first one is he can make 100K or more. He can be over 6 feet or 6 feet. He can have that good D. Or he can be a good communicator. Okay, so you can only pick 2 out of the 4. And this time we're going to start with you, Shavana. And if you want me to repeat it, I can repeat it again if you want me to repeat it.
Definitely good communicator. That's a definite one for me. What were the other 3?
Makes over 100K a year. Has that good D. And is 6 feet or older or taller.
Makes the 100K or more a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he could be 5'2", have terrible D, but he's a good communicator and makes 250K. You okay with that?
I like that she went with the communicator first and she forgot the other one. So
yeah.
I would have to look past it because, communication I feel like is key and it's important. And the stability for me. Definitely the stability.
Gotcha. The financial stability. Okay. Nice. And how about for you, Nelly?
I will go with a great communicator as well. And then, honestly, I'm a tall person. So I don't want to, I have dated guys that are like my height or a little shorter. And it just doesn't feel right. So I would have to say, dang, good D or like the tall. Damn.
Dun, dun, dun.
I feel like they can make up if they don't have good D.
But I'm like, damn. Yeah, we could work on the other part. So over 6 feet. Okay. And a good communicator. Because the money thing is like, that's another thing. I've never really, maybe it's a bad thing because I've struggled, but I've never really looked at people for how much they make and I've also always been very independent. So I'm like, if it don't work out, I got me type of thing. It is very important, to live comfortably and be able to pay the bills and all of that. But I feel like if you find the right person, you can work on that together.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you're okay with him being a good communicator, but you're like he lives in the living room of his best friend. You're cool with that? And he's 6'11", 6'12".
I mean, 6'11" is 7 feet.
Yeah, he's 7 feet. He's 6'5", living on his sleeping in his friend's garage.
The guys that I met, they didn't start out in very good situations, and I just rolled with it because I never again, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I never took myself too serious on that because I'm always like, we can work on. I'm not perfect, so we can work on that. We can work on getting out of that.
Got you. So you have the patience. Okay. I guess patience go both ways, right? I like that.
No, definitely.
I like that. And so here's another question I got for you ladies, right? And we're going to start with you, Nelly, this time. Who is your celebrity crush?
Honestly, I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
Not one.
No.
Is there one that you think is attractive?
I never really was like that. I mean, obviously we find people attractive, men and women. There's plenty of attractive people, but I've never been the type to be like, oh, that celebrity is just so no.
Okay.
No.
Is there one you find attractive?
Well, there's a lot.
Okay. Name one. Name one.
Let's see. Jason Momoa is one of them.
Okay. The merman.
The merman guy.
Aquaman. Okay. Okay, we'll use Jason Momoa. We'll use Jason Momoa. Okay.
Because I can't think of any other one.
Okay, so here's the question, right? And so let's say, and he's well off, right? He's got his money together and everything like that, right?
Right.
So let's say you and Jason Momoa were dating, maybe in the process of getting serious to like marriage and stuff like that. If Jason Momoa said, Nelly, I don't want you posting any more pictures of yourself on social media. I want you to take your social media down. Are you taking it down?
Deuces, buddy.
No?
Nah.
If he take care, everything's taken care of, like finances, everything.
No, because that's controlling.
So you feel like it's a controlling aspect?
Yeah.
You don't think it's like a fair trade type of thing?
Well, I mean, is he gonna be posting stuff?
Well, yeah. I guess the sexual tension is different for men and women.
So I'm like, I don't know. It's just those type of things. It's like, well, first off, I've never gotten into like posting, not because I'm against it or anything. This just hasn't never been me, like posting too revealing stuff or anything like that. And then on top of that, when you ask for, like, I mean, we live in a world where it's, as much as you want to argue about it or that you don't like it, social media is a big thing.
It's huge.
So, yeah. So, if you try to ask someone to give that up and there really isn't a problem to begin with, it's already showing signs of, oh, how is it going to be later? Mm-hmm. How controlling is this person really going to get?
Gotcha. Do you...
I don't care how cute you are.
Do you... Okay, here's a question. Why do you, besides being quote unquote controlling, why do you think a man would ask their woman to not post anymore on Instagram?
Well, I mean, based off of experience, it's because they feel guilty of something. They're maybe looking at stuff, whether it be other women on social media or porn or whatever. So the way their mind works, they're going to be like, oh, well, my girl's posting stuff. So that's how she's going to be looked at. But because they have that mentality. And it's like, usually people that are like that, most of the time, not always, they're guilty of something. They're doing something they're not supposed to, so they're trying to take that away from their significant other in form of control. But then they go behind their back and do all the stuff that they tell their woman not to do.
Like messing with other people?
That could be one. Yeah. Or just because I mean, I've had it done to me before. My ex used to cheat on me constantly. And anytime I would get ready or anytime I would do my makeup, even if we didn't go anywhere, what are you doing that for? Who are you trying to look nice for? You know, why are you trying to get attention all the time? But it was because, and you know, with the 7 years, I got to know this person really well.
I understand him.
He was doing a lot of stuff that he was telling me he didn't like, but then he would go and like those girls that he would talk shit about to, you know what I'm, It's that guilt thing. About, yeah.
Gotcha. Before we go on into you, Shavana, with the same question. So hypothetically, let's say if the man was fulfilling the right role without, you know, doing something bad behind your back, but he still asked you to take down the photos and stuff like that or close it.
So at this point I would ask, well, is it to focus on our own relationship? Or are you also going to get, you know, like not be on social media? Because if it's a fair trade like that and there's nothing really going on, then I could see that. I could see how it would be like, okay, if it's to focus on our own relationship, not really focus on what other people are doing, then I could understand that. But if it's going to be like, oh, well, I'll still have mine though, or I'll sneak on it or whatever, then no.
Yeah. again, it's sexual. Dynamics between men and women are different in the marketplace for sex, right? Women get a lot more sexual attention than men, and it's a lot easier for women. So speaking from a man's perspective on it, the reason why, let's say, a successful man would say, hey, babe, take down your Instagram is because most men do things that are in a relationship is to protect their woman from themselves. And I know that sounds kind of messed up, but the fact is that, like I said, women get attention you guys could be walking down the street in the most bummiest clothes. A guy's going to come at you, right? Am I right or wrong?
Probably.
Probably.
Has it happened before? No? You never been in a bummy clothes and a guy said some talk to you? Nothing like that?
Not so much recently. I think there's other reasons.
Yeah, just make an example, right?
Yeah.
But guys they'll approach regardless. And so what a guy is doing by saying, hey, close your Instagram, or basically what a guy from the roommate, shout out to the roommates, what they said was, the minorities, what the minority said was, Instagram is kind of like a phone book now. Like I can just look you up and I can message you directly. It's like a phone book. I can go to anyone I see and be like, hey, what's up? It's like a phone book.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And so what men are trying to do, when these men that are good men that are not going behind and doing some nasty stuff, is they're trying to protect their relationship. Right? So same question for you, Shavana. If your dream guy, who's your dream celebrity guy?
I don't necessarily have one. I mean, there's a lot of them that are cute, but I'll just Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael B. Harvey, she missed out. I don't know what she was thinking, but that's a different story.
She probably saw red flags.
But she's been around though, right? So anyway, shout out to you. Shout out to you. So if Michael B was like, hey, we're getting serious, blah, blah, blah. Babe, I need you to, can you please I need you to take down the Instagram. I need you to get off your socials because I just don't, yeah.
I feel like I have to side with her on that one.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, I just feel as though if there is no reason behind why I'm doing it, are you two going to get off social media as well? Is there something that we need to work on between each other? Then okay, but I mean, other than that, no.
It has to be equal. It's like, okay, so we're both gonna work on this together, then you're off of it too then, until further notice, or until we figure out that we're strong enough in our foundation, and then if we want to have a social media after that, then
Gotcha. Even though it's been established that our sexual place in the market is completely different and our attention's completely different.
I mean, that's on a individual level. That depends on the person, because I mean, women can be, they could be, I want to say dogs. Yeah, they could be dogs too. So I just think it depends on the person.
Of course.
Whatever their intentions
Because
are.
I can ignore DMs all day.
Of course, but they're still coming, right? And it's like, one of the arguments that a famous podcast says is that, if I have a Ferrari and I park it in the hood, I'm not going to leave it unlocked, or I'm not going to leave it locked. I'm not going to park my Ferrari in the hood because the potential of it still getting attacked and everything, even if it has the best security and everything like that.
It's very high.
Yeah. Why would I still park something that's precious to me in a terrible location or situation? Right. So anyway, they rather keep their social media than abide by their dream guy. Very interesting. Okay. Okay.
It depends.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, and I'm.
It depends on the circumstances.
All the circumstances is just to protect our relationship.
As long as it's being reciprocated and all of that, then.
But like I said, it's not coming for the men. Don't get okay. Let's use this as an example. Have you women got any DMs from guys this month?
No, since I've been married, I honestly don't get hit on anymore. I met my husband on Instagram.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
You met him on Instagram.
I did.
It goes back. So you're basically certifying what I'm saying about why a man would want to take you off of Instagram.
But it just depends on the person, because we have no problems with our social media. In the beginning, obviously, when you're getting to know someone, then you start, I was talking to this person or that person, so then you start deleting people or whatever. But And we've been together for 3 years. As of now, no issues whatsoever. Our phones don't have any passwords. Our phones are unlocked free for us, which, we don't want to, but it's there if we wanted
That's
to.
good.
So we don't have, at least in our situation, we don't have that issue.
That's really good.
Nice. Any DMs in the last month?
A little scatter there.
Okay, but they're coming in. They're coming in, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just trying to make a point. I don't want to go over it too much, but women get a lot more sexual attention than the average guy. The average girl would get a lot more sexual attention than the average guy, right? So here's a good question, and it's completely different. Do you think, how many women right now do you think are getting married that are still virgins? And we'll start with you, Nelly.
How many men are getting married that are still virgins?
Well,
I don't think it's that common. Yeah. Because I think we live in a day where it's, when has it? Back in the day, I've heard stories too. Some women would even still pretend to be virgins. I don't know how they would do it. Yeah. But they would. But I think it just depends on the person. I feel like sometimes too, as much as if anyone disagrees, sex is a huge part of a relationship. And what if you go into it not really, getting to know each other and then you're not compatible in that? That could break a relationship. As much as anyone wants to say, oh, it's like love and all that. No, sex is a big part of it too.
But I thought you just wanted communication and over 6 feet.
Well, that wasn't one of the
question.
That wasn't one of the choices. Options.
Yeah, big D.
You could work on that in the relationship though. As you get to know, it's because
you get to know each other. Yeah.
So the more you get to know each other, the deeper the connection can get. And sometimes some people don't have a connection sexually, and that can sometimes ruin it.
Facts.
So, it's a personal choice. If you want to go in it as a virgin, that's fine. That's totally fine because it can get dangerous sleeping around. Obviously, there's STDs and all of that, and then also I feel like exchanging too much energy with too many people at once can also be bad.
Agreed.
But it depends on. It literally just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Got you. Same question for you, Shauna. Are women still getting married as virgins now?
I don't think so. No.
Gotcha.
I think just women nowadays just have more, just like as men, a little bit more of a sexual freedom to do what they please. Again, it's not always safe. You got to be careful. And if you are single and all that, you got to get checked up and you got to make sure your partner's getting checked up. Yeah. But as long as you're being responsible and trying your best to be safe.
Yeah, I'm not doing the casual stuff during dating. Not happening.
Can you explain what the casual stuff is? What that
Boinking
means?
without any commitment, or I don't know, just like she said, where sometimes you have sex with these people and it's not what you expected it to be. If I'm going to have a one-night stand with you, buddy, it's got to be good. And I feel like that's why I can't do the casual stuff like that either, because then I'm left empty-handed or a little icky. Yeah. And then I just feel as though when you're developing a relationship with somebody, you can talk about those boundaries, those likes and dislikes, and then see if they care enough to listen to what it is that you want, care for your body, because sex is an intimate thing.
Yeah.
And just like she said, you don't want too many energies added. I don't know how people can do it.
Sometimes men don't. I know sometimes women get just sleep with a man just because that's what they want. But sometimes men don't take care of, they just literally go in it and so that they could take care of themselves, but they don't really truly take the time to make sure the woman's taken care of. So that's where you get the ick after, feel kind of used, feel kind of wow, that was kinda...
Interesting. Okay, so that brings me up a question, right? So, because it's definitely known that a lot of guys will just come in, get theirs and go, right? So... is that the guy's fault or the girl's fault? Because the girl picked the guy.
It's also how the man is raised. It's also how the man is taught how to value a woman or a human being. Because sometimes these men will put up a front that they're this and they're so sweet and that, and then they get theirs and then they completely change who they said that they were. So it's not so much on the women, because sometimes we don't even know if what's going to happen after you give someone a chance to sleep with you. It also goes down to what values this man has. How were they raised? Were they taught to value a woman, to respect a woman or a partner, whoever it is? Or were they taught that women are just objects? it's on the man.
Yeah. Well, Shivani,
Yeah,
what are you
I
gonna say?
feel sometimes like if they're sweet talking you or just being
Just to get what they
extra,
want.
it's with an agenda.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like I'm older now, and I won't fall for that.
Yeah.
And other, aside, let's say if I wasn't married, I won't fall for it no more. But when I was younger, any like little sweet talk, I'd be like, oh, it's so cute and this and that. And then after, I would be wondering like, what the fuck happened? Like, why'd they switch it up?
Yeah.
Well, it's a game that both people are playing, right? Men and women are both playing a game, right? And guys will do whatever they have to do to get what they want, and which is sex, and women will do whatever they want to get from men, which is attention and time and commitment. So it's a game. Whoever wins. I know, sounds crazy, right? Sounds crazy, but it's
You're
the truth.
like, I don't know.
I know. Go ahead, speak your mind, Shivani. Go ahead. Go ahead, girl. Get
If
it.
you don't agree,
Get
say
it.
it. Why?
No,
Get
I'm
it.
just saying, like,
Just go ahead.
like, why do we have to want the commitment and the time? And
It's because it goes back to the values that some people, I'm not going to just say all, because some women do chase men for their money and just for, some women are bad too.
and
I'm
do
not
men
just
like
gonna-
that?
As long as they're getting what they
I'll
want.
answer that for you. So, say your question one more time, and I'll answer for you, Shivani.
Do men like women chasing them for their money?
The one before that.
What, the commitment?
Yeah. What was your
Do
question?
men want commitment?
So the woman has to deserve the right to get a commitment from a man that knows his worth. Okay? So men want sex, women want commitment. Right? Just like how you said you don't want anything casual. You want someone to commit to you. So that way you can have not casual. Most guys, most men just want casual sex if they can get it. Right? Very few of them want just a one woman thing. Like if a guy can, like if he have like 100K followers, 100K in the bank, whatever, he would go wild, right? But yeah, so commitment is usually what a woman wants, right? That's why marriage is a big thing for women. That's why it's always been said, right? Like men really don't care about marriage too much, but whose day is marriage day? Whose day is that? It's for the woman, right? It's all for her. Whatever she wants, what do we want to praise her? It's her big day, right? And so men want sex, women want commitment. And so it's a battle between the two, right? And yeah, it's sad to say, and I'm not speaking for every woman, every man. This is just a generality speaking,
yeah, 'cause
right?
I've been on
Generally,
both.
right? This is just a general speaking,
Both
right?
sides.
This is just a generally speaking, right? Generally speaking, right? Because, and it makes sense historically speaking or biologically speaking why women want commitment is because, say if you get pregnant, right? Let's go before technology existed, we're in the woods and stuff like that. If you get pregnant, then you need someone that can commit to you to take care of you and your baby and your child and help protect, bring food and everything like that, right? Now we're in tech, you guys we can Uber everything we need. We can call Amazon for everything we need, right? But our biology does things like that, right? And the reason why I didn't make biology, but there's a reason why it takes a woman 9 months to have one child, but men can go around and have 90 babies, right? Within those 9 months, right? I didn't create biology, but that's just the way it's created, right? But yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think people need to know their roles and act accordingly. And I think women get commitment when they are worthy to the man that is worthy, and a man gets sex from a woman who she thinks is worthy of the sex, right? You're not gonna have sex with someone that you don't think is worthy of your body, because that's, if we want to talk about the physical level, and you guys can correct me, that's probably the most personal, intimate part of a woman's body is having sex with a man. So a man has to he has to obtain the worth in your mind to say, okay, he's worthy of my body. Whatever he did, whatever he has, whatever he did, whatever he said, whatever perception he's brought to me has brought worth to me. And for a man who knows his worth, because a lot of men don't know their worth nowadays. I guess it goes both ways. But he gives commitment to a woman who has basically added value to his life. Yeah, I know. Who has added value to his life. So anything you want to say? Nelly?
I mean, I've been on both sides. I would in my relationship, that's the part where I'm like, I didn't walk away when I should have. I started trying to get like him. Oh, you think you can get, other girls? Okay, I'll play the same game. And sometimes I would also just go and, sleep with guys or go out with guys just for the, just because I could. And I'll be like, and you're not going to find out about it. That's where I'm going to be, like I was very revengeful in that relationship. And I'm not saying it's okay, but I was on both sides. And I just remember when we were struggling towards the end, and I was just like, why can't you just stay committed? Like, you say you want a future, you say you want this and that. Why can you just not stay committed?
Yeah. Why can't you just be
and
faithful?
And he's like, well, it's because supposedly him, I don't know. He felt very insecure and he wanted to see if he could still get other women. That was his response. And I was just like, I mean, I kind of do believe it, because it's like, okay, you're in a committed relationship, but you when you're in a committed relationship, it's like, supposedly that's the only person, but you want to see if you still got it or whatever. And that was his response. But it was a nonstop thing. And it was like, he would sweet talk and let's get back together and this time it'll be different. And it was nice, like maybe the first month or two, but then it would go back to the same BS.
Over and over.
Over and over again, over and over again. But the bad thing about that was when he did it, oh, he's just a man, it's fine. Even his family would back him up. Even his own brother in the beginning helped him cheat on me while I was living with them. But when I would get, the couple times I did get caught up, I was the hoe. I was the one sleeping around. So that's what, So it's like, oh, you don't like the game being played on you? It's too bad.
Yeah. Well,
and he would tell me, like, he would be like, you're my karma and stuff. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to teach you that. Because he would be the type like, oh, well, you're the woman. You should be at home chilling, or you should be at home. And I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing that. Because I did start off like that. I would take him lunch to work.
Oh,
I would take him to work.
The good old times.
I did a lot for him. Everywhere he would move, because he was very unstable at first. Everywhere he would go, I was there. You need a ride to work? Here you go. You need my car? Here you go. I just gave too much, thinking like, okay, well, I'm showing him that I'm serious. I'm showing him that I care about him. So in return, I'm going to get the same thing.
Okay, that brings me to an interesting thing, right? So, man, there's so many things that you said in there, but I'll stick to body counts. I'll stick to body counts, right? Mm-hmm. So, actually, I'll go back a little bit, right? So, instinctively, you wouldn't want to go around having sex with a bunch of men, but you only did it out of anger and spite.
Yes.
Right? So, it's going back to instinctively, it's not in a woman's instinct to go around and sleep with a bunch of men. It's just not, because she wants to take care of herself, the energy, right? We'll use that. But let's go to body counts, right? And we all know what body counts means when I say that, right? And we'll start with you, Shivana. Does a woman's body count matter?
I feel like it shouldn't.
Why?
Because honestly, we ain't the ones fucking like that. In reality, the male's body count should count more, because they can freely dabble wherever they want to go. Why are you concerned about my body count? For the most part, I feel like because women require commitment, 9 times out of 10, their commitment of body count came from a previous relationship, not necessarily sleeping around. They were with someone for a couple of months. They maybe thought it was going to go somewhere. They broke up maybe. There was time in between. They might have met someone else, but they're not every night going out having sex like men do.
That's what I mean about body count, is different partners. Not the same partners, but body count about different partners. So if a man had 50 different partners, different bodies that he went through, and a woman had 50 different partners, does it matter? It should be the same. And honest opinion, don't let no one influence you here.
No.
It should be looked at equally?
Yeah.
And why?
I just don't feel like
Okay.
I'm lost for words.
It doesn't really matter too much, because as human beings, we're all getting it somehow. And if we're not, fine. And if you are, cool. And if you're sleeping with more than one person, as long as you're safe, cool. And if you're not, that's cool too. I just think the whole body count thing is ridiculous, especially when a woman is looked down upon on her body count. But men could be nasty and have a whole bunch, and they're seen different. I just don't think it's right. And I did say that I would go, you know, and sleep around sometimes just to get revenge. And it did damage me. But that's because that was me. But if a woman is enjoying it and she wants to have multiple partners and she's okay with that, then it shouldn't be an issue.
It damages most women. It just doesn't work for most women. So why do you think society and men... Okay, so why do you think society and men and most women look down on women having multiple body counts? And why do you think the opposite for men?
Misogyny and the patriarchy.
Okay, Shavana?
I want to say maybe because the chances of her like getting pregnant and having a child with someone else.
There you go.
That
You're getting closer. Yep, you're getting right, because this goes back down to commitment again, right? So let's say you and I were dating, right? But we had an open relationship. Let you have sex with anybody, no birth control or anything like that. You get pregnant, and this is, let's say, before technology. How the hell would I know that's my baby? You know what I mean? So it just goes down to that,
I mean,
right?
there
hold
are...
Hold on. All right, and so it's because of things like that society, because this whole technology of knowing the parents and stuff like that is very recent. So the only way to ensure paternity is by being committed, right, to one person, right? The reason why it's okay for men, or why it's looked at okay for men, is because, going again, sex is difficult for men to get. So if you're able to get sex, a lot of it, that means you're good with women. I know this sounds surprising to you. This may sound surprising to you, but most men have a hard time getting laid. You know, it sounds strange. Most men do. Most women do not. Because men are the gatekeepers to relationships and commitment. Women are the gatekeepers to sex.
I can see that in general.
No man can have sex with you without your permission. You're not going to get commitment from a man unless he allows commitment from him. All right? So.
Oh, I learned that the hard way.
All right? So.
Now I know.
But this is also what I wanted to address, right? I think, going back to why your man effed up, is I think if a man wants to have multiple partners, you need to be straight up with your woman ahead of time. Don't go sneaking. Don't go sneaking behind her back. Say, hey, I'm gonna be faithful for you, and then go around her back and lie about it, because that means you're lying. There's plenty of
relationships that do work on polygamy, but you have to polyamorous relationships, but you have to be straight up.
Yeah, you need to be. If you're gonna be a man, and tell her this is what I want, this is what it is. If you can't handle it, then et cetera, et cetera. But at least you're honest and being a man up front with her
right away, and give her the choice to go ahead and go through with it or not.
So speaking of that, would you guys say the man has checked all the boxes that you guys wanted before, right? Everything, he communicates, et cetera, over 6 feet, blah, blah, blah. Just everything, checks all the boxes, but he comes to you straightforward and says, hey, I'm not going to be, I'll be faithful, meaning like I'll provide and give you security and everything like that, but every once in a while I'll step out. I won't bring it into your face. I won't be nasty and foul with it. I won't bring any diseases home. I won't bring any babies home. But every once in a while, you know I'm going to do me. But you have to be faithful on your side. Nelly, would you do it?
No. What do you mean? What do you mean you get to go? Can I too?
No. That's not the arrangement. No?
No.
Okay. Shavana?
It'd be a no. Even though I wouldn't probably, just me, I wouldn't go out and have sex with anyone else. But still.
It's like so one-sided.
Yeah.
Got you. If he was open about it and told you?
I mean, thank you for that. I'd be like, yeah, at least you're being, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the honesty.
Not a lot of people would be straight up like that, but
and you
if
give
I
me
can't
a choice.
do it, then no.
Got you.
Yeah, no.
Got you. So interesting. But, this is, these are good conversations to have, right? I think we need to talk more, like, as men and women about these things. Because... So there's a statistic, and I could probably look for it, but apparently I think it's like 1 out of 3 men or 2 out of 3 men, maybe we'll say at least 1 out of 3 men from 18 to 30 are still virgins, are not having sex right now. How many women do you think are 18 to 30 that are not having sex right now or still virgins?
I would have to look that up because I feel like it could end up evening out.
The reason why I say that is because women have more options again, right? And the options have opened up. How do you think options have opened up for women?
Women have become a little bit more independent.
No.
No?
You want to guess?
You said, okay, repeat the question.
How do you think options have opened up more for women nowadays than it did 20, 30 years ago?
I would say social media has
Correct.
opened up in the options for them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because if you look back, remember going back, I can be in Tokyo, or I can see a baddie in Tokyo, I have a blue check, and be like, hey, girl, I fly you out to Miami. I'll fly you out. Right?
Yeah.
Her options are now have become big, as opposed to like if you just live in the Dino, then you're only going to mess with the dudes
Dino
in the Dino
people,
come, right?
yeah.
You have more options now, right? And then to be a dude to pull a girl, like a woman's always going to feel like she has more options because she does with social media, right? And more guys now have to step up their game.
So she can choose whoever.
She has options.
Yeah.
She sees it. But one thing, and I got this from the crew, which is awesome. Women, when you see all these guys in your DM or coming at you, don't mistake them for sexual options as opposed to commitment options, right? Don't mistake that, because a lot of these guys that are in the DMs that come, they just want sex. They don't want no commitment, right?
Yeah.
So don't ever, and this goes out to all y'all, don't mistake them for wanting commitment, right? Because like they were saying earlier, they can sweet talk you, right? Come with you with that bag, but, and honestly, I have no problem with gold diggers. I honestly don't. Because at least they're honest.
We all get ours however you can.
Yeah, at least they're honest. At least they're like, hey, I ain't fucking with you unless you make $250 and can buy me a bag.
That's true.
She's being honest.
Just like we want the dude to be honest, like right up front.
About the thing, right? And so we just have to know each other's roles. And okay, if she wants that,
And if you're with it, you're with it. And if you're not, well,
so
thank you for letting me know.
if she wants that, then I expect something too. Remember, it's a value exchange. Okay, this is what you want. Okay, this is what I want. Cut your Instagram. Cut your social media. All right? You want the $250? No problem, babe. No problem. Let's go. But this is what I want too, right? And men that know their worth and who are, the old term, high value man, shout out to Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. They have a lot of options. And so the best thing I would recommend for any woman listening, women who are single, looking for men, make sure that you can add value. If you find the best man you could possibly find in your life, make sure you can add value to his life.
Vice versa.
And he will definitely add value, because you wouldn't be looking at the man if he didn't already appease you in some valuable way, right? And so that's why don't just stop that way. You also have to make sure, how can I add value back?
I'm gonna go back really quick though, and on one of the things that we're talking about, the whole why the whole pregnancy thing. Like if a woman gets pregnant and is sleeping around with multiple, you don't know which. There's a few tribes. Even I think they still exist today. I think one of them is in China, where it's more of a matriarchal community. So the woman is basically like has multiple husbands, and so if she does get pregnant, there's no worry about who is the father. Basically, all the men take care of. Like everybody takes care of each other, basically.
Yeah, but that's an exception. That's an exception to the
general. It's not that common, but
yeah.
there is some that have existed, I think, in Africa as
Yeah,
well. So
we're speaking of generalities.
It depends on how it's run. If it's matriarchal, that's usually what you see. If it's patriarchal, then you see this whole, well, women should be doing this and women should be doing that, and those are facts. We could provide proof for that.
Yeah,
it
but
just depends.
Matriarch societies don't really last, and I can't say that every matriarchal society does that. Matriarch just means that a woman is worshipped as the lead, right? Patriarch means a man's worshipped as the lead, but that doesn't mean that every matriarch society says all women are doing.
Isn't working out either, so
hey, you're alive, you're here, you're in an air conditioning place, you can drive your car, like all that's done by patriarchy. So,
there's a lot of things that women and inventions that women have contributed to,
Of course.
and they are not given the credit for it because they are women.
Of course, but you can't completely blame patriarchy on everything and then take things
I didn't say that. I was just talking about the whole. I
you know?
never said that. I was talking about the women getting pregnant and all of that. That's what I was talking about. I think women have contributed a lot again, but we're not giving the credit for it because we're women, and that is a result of patriarchy.
Okay, but we also can't deny that patriarchy has given us a lot of great things. Right? We're on this podcast due to a male-run society. You're able to get your makeup probably through male-run society and your bras, materials, stuff like that.
No, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to disagree with that one.
But I'm not disagreeing that women have not created. Women actually help people get to NASA and outer space. Women have done great things, right? I was raised by a single woman, so I have nothing against women. But I used to play the blame game a lot on things, and I like to. Someone mentioned something recently, which is look at things 360. Look at things completely. Just don't look at things in one.
Well, I mean, look at the state of the world too, though. How we're run by capitalism. I mean, we're going a little off topic of the whole.
No, let's let her go. Let's let her go. Let's let her go. Let's let her go. Let's let her go.
But climate change, capitalism, all of that is usually from what I've noticed about men, or more so people that are more powered by ego and power and all of that. They will oversee the well-being of everyone to gain something for themselves. It goes back to the same thing with the relationships. If a man feels like they have the right to cheat and to have multiple women, but then they see their women as just theirs and they can't do that, it's that power, it's that ego, and what's that doing? For the most part, men are in charge. They're running the world. What is that doing to the world?
So this is only recently within the Industrial Revolution.
Right.
Right? So, we're in America, so let's talk about Native Americans, right? Tribes, right? Are those patriarchal societies?
They were mostly matriarchal.
I've never seen a female chief. Have you?
They were matriarchal. I follow a lot of indigenous creators, especially on TikTok. And from the stories that they tell, and coming from indigenous people, a lot of them respected their women. And I'm not sure about the chief thing because I'm not indigenous, so I can't speak on that subject. But a lot of them look at their women and respect their women a lot differently than our current modern society does.
Well, of course, differently. But I just mean male run.
I mean, I'll look it up. And if I could find some tribes, I can ask some indigenous people that I know on there what stories they have been told by their elders. And I can provide that. But
for sure.
I don't, this whole thing of that it only works when men run things is definitely not, it's not right.
I think there needs to be a balance.
Definitely, I agree.
I think there needs
female energy, male energy, I agree.
There needs to be an order, right? And I heard something recently, which is, so a man brings the material, builds a house, the woman makes it into a home. Yeah. Those are roles, right? And the reason why I brought up the chief thing is because obviously they respected their women. Obviously they respected their men. Obviously they respected the order. But I think people need to know their roles. And I think the patriarchal society that you really hate is the industrial Western society, European
right, because
destruction.
Back then they were the ones mostly going out the hunting, and the women were usually at home making the food, making the baskets, clothes. Taking care of while the men were out and about.
Killing, fighting, protecting, hunting, whatever that needs to be done. Roles. But, so, one last question before you guys. Do you guys have any questions? You have any questions, Shavana? You want to ask about relationships, talk about relationships?
I'm just vibing.
Vibing?
Yeah.
You, Nelly? Any other questions you want to reach or talk about?
No.
Awesome. What did you guys think?
Not at the moment.
What did you guys think?
Yes. You just got to be careful and protect, like, your energy and whatever it is that you want to do. Like we were saying, just be clear about it right away in the beginning. Like in the beginning, don't try to like lie about things, or don't, try to take advantage of people just to gain something out of it. There's people for everyone. There's people that are okay with multiple partners. There's people that are okay with being just the committed one and the other person going around. you just have to be honest, and you'll find someone. There's someone for everybody.
Yeah. Want to say anything about that, Shavana? You good?
I agree. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about
You're
what
in
you
your
guys
head.
are all
yeah,
saying.
you're in your head.
So,
we got her thinking, y'all. We got her thinking.
but no, I do agree with the being upfront. I feel like obviously people aren't gonna be upfront because they have their agenda, but I think it would be more appreciated. And you never know, your mind could change based off of you being upfront.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes. So I mean, that's my only opinion on that.
That makes sense. Yeah, gentlemen, I agree. Like, be upfront. Women also be upfront what you want. But I do understand, and I have heard it from people, and it makes sense that a lot of men won't be upfront because you guys wanted a guy to be honest, but once he was honest, you didn't want to be with him. So a lot of guys are just like, well, why risk being honest with her if she's not going to accept it? So I might as well
give her a choice.
I might as well give her a dream. Might as well sell her a dream and get what I want.
Have like less of an opportunity to get that girl, rather than the girl has more options to say, okay, this one. So then they're going to be like, well, I might not get her. Who knows if I could get someone else right away? So I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna get it. So they're gonna. A lot of men rather sell you the dream than tell you the truth.
Right.
So they can get what they want.
They wonder why you're crazy afterwards.
And they,
No, then they tell you you're crazy and stuff. I mean, with my husband, it's different. When I first met him, I was right away. I told him, look, I'm not trying to trauma dump. I'm just letting you know what I've been through some shit, and this is what I would want, and if you're with it, cool, and if not, at least I'm letting you know up front what's going on with me. And you have the option to choose whatever. And I mean, we have great communication. So it's worked out so far. But in the last relationship, just too much happened. And I think there's a line that you cross that you just can't come back from. And towards the end, we're like, well, why are we really going to throw away these 7 years and try to go meet someone new? And I was like, it's because we crossed the line. And I don't think we're ever going to get that respect. We're always going to be questioning one another. We're always going to be wondering what the other one's doing, what our intentions are. And I think, sadly, we crossed that line. And I don't think there's any coming back from that.
Yeah, sometimes you go too far and it's just it. And, I heard a great analogy, which was like, if you break this glass, which is kind of like the relationship, right? It's broken. And now you're just trying to put it back together. Trying to get the same glass that it once was.
It's never going to be the same.
It's never going to be the same,
it'll maybe get it to work, but it's not going to be.
Yeah, it'll still be leaking water. It'll still be leaking water and everything like that. Yeah, it's sometimes you have to let things go, and I learned even personal experience. Sometimes letting someone go is better for them, and it's better for you. And it may be hard, but
is that one other saying that sometimes holding on to something hurts more than just letting it go? You
just have to let it go because you have to protect yourself, and sometimes you have to save the other person by letting them go as well. Maybe they might be more attached to you than you are to them, but you're like, hey, like I need to save myself by letting you go. And so
and sometimes you don't understand why things happen in the beginning, but then time passes and you're like, oh shit, no, this is why, and this was for the better and whatnot.
The truth always comes to light, as they say.
It does.
Well, man, great conversation, ladies. Great conversation. Everyone, I want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We're going to have some more conversations like this and various other things like that. But I want to thank Shavana and Nelly for coming on again. I'll have all their informations in the bio. Other than that, my name is Antonio D. Miles. Better respect on the name. This is The Empire Podcast. Like the video, subscribe. Please, we're trying to get everything up. We really appreciate everything. And until next time, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye. Thank you for watching.
Meow.
I say it's my duty. Yeah. Is it my will? Yeah. To do what? Yeah. To do is right. I say.
I know. Vampire. She's a vampire. She's a vampire. Vampire.